Hello everybody, I wanted to give you guys a sense of what we're going to be learning in this class. Environmental science is a multidisciplinary science. That means it uses all the other sciences in its study. So I'd like to go through some of these different sciences and then run through what the different chapters are going to be. So biology is heavily used in environmental science, the study of living things, how everything is built, how it functions. So if it's alive, studying things that are alive. Ecology, it studies living things, how they interact with their environment and with each other. Earth science, this is the study of how the different systems in our planet work, how our planet kind of gets put together. So this would be like plate tectonics and what's inside of the Earth and different rocks and geology. Physics, the laws of the physical universe. This would be things like the conservation of energy, that energy is neither created nor destroyed, or that in an open system, energy leaves a system, it goes into a different system, and in a closed system, the energy stays where it is. Chemistry, how materials interact at the very small level, the molecular level, so how they react with each other. And then there's also a human side, so the anthropology. So anthropology is a science describing human experience, human behavior at the individual level. So what did humans used to look like? What do humans look like now? How are we changing as a people? Sociology describes the human experience on a more national or global level. So what is happening within our countries, okay? So how are countries developing? How are we developing as a people? We talk about different nationalities of people and how they've developed in their culture or in what their science or other things. Okay, so that's environmental science, a multidisciplinary science. There are other disciplines as well that I didn't include here. So what are we going to learn in this class? So the first chapters we're going to skip. These are science and the environment. This talks about who are the different types of people who study the environment and what are the different sciences that involve environmental science or that are involved in environmental science. We already covered that on the first slide. It's a multidisciplinary science, so there are all different kinds of disciplines. Tools of environmental science, so how to make questions and look for the answers. This chapter covered the scientific method and how to make decisions, informed decisions, which we can talk about toward the end of the year. But I thought we would get into the actual material of talking about why our environment is so awesome. So we start on chapter 3 with the dynamic Earth. What makes our planet awesome? How do all the different systems interact? The geosphere, the hydrosphere, and the atmosphere. The organization of life. So this would be categorizing life. So if it's a living thing, is it a single-celled organism? Is it a multi-celled organism like an animal or a plant? What kingdom does it fall into? Then we're going to talk about how do ecosystems work. So the different types of relationships between organisms in an ecosystem. Is it a symbiotic relationship? Is it a parasitic relationship? The different biomes of the Earth and how on land there are different kinds of creatures and the different kinds of animals and plants that you find in places where that are only determined by what's the temperature all year round, how much does the temperature change, and how much water is there. These are for land ecosystems. And then the next chapter is aquatic ecosystems, because most of our planet is covered with water. So what goes into a water ecosystem? What do you always find in a water ecosystem? And then what are the different types of water ecosystem? We'll talk about understanding populations. So populations can grow or shrink or stay the same. So we'll talk about what the different factors are that make them grow or don't grow. Then we'll talk about the human population, because a big part of environmental science and why we study environmental science is so that our environment will be able to support us. We can be altruistic, meaning selfless about the environment and preserve the environment for its own sake. But it's also very, very good for us as human beings to preserve our environment as well. So we'll talk about the human population and how we have changed, how we have influenced our environment, and how we've been influenced by the environment as well. And then biodiversity. If there's time, we'll cover this chapter. Why is biodiversity such a good thing to have in an ecosystem or in our environment? So those are all the chapters, and I look forward to getting right into it with you guys. I hope this was helpful. Have a nice day.